Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is S70091 and my matrix number is S70091. Today I'm going to present about ocean ion fertilization, which is OIF. I would like to explain about the history of OIF. It began in 1990, where John Martin, researcher who founded it. John Martin made the hypothesis about ion formula, which is ion stimulate the growth of phytoplankton. And at the same year, it made all the scientists and researchers explore more on OIF. It went through until 1995 to 2009, where mesoscale began conduct experiment about OIF, which is continue until now. So how does OIF works? OIF defined as a way to tackle down a global warming. We can take an example from plant. Plant need organic matter, which is the same can apply to ocean, which need iron for phytoplankton to grow. So how do scientists know about gas composition in ancient times? So it was found first by John Martin, which he conduct an experiment in ice polar core. They identified the air bubble contained carbon dioxide that was trapped in ice core, and it was taken sample to measure it. CO2 and methane was found in it. So another way to measure is by measure isotopic sediment and also faucet of plankton. How did Martin come to this finding? According to article 2010 by Philip, the Vostok ice core consists CO2 in which its concentration came across 4 glacial cycles. This led to OIF being considered as mitigation tools. The main objective of OIF is to help stabilize ocean ion fertilization, in which it helps maintain the requirement like fishery, economical, and through primary producer, we can measure it. Okay, what is the area that was mentioned frequently by researchers? There is 4 areas, which is Pacific Southern Ocean, Equatorial Pacific Ocean, Subarctic Pacific Ocean, and North Atlantic Ocean. These four areas have a low iron and is HNLC zone. HNLC is high nutrient and low chlorophyll. Although low iron, but datum were most dominated in 4 areas. In these 4 areas. What is the relationship between iron and climate was mentioned many times. And why was it? In hypothesis mentioned by researcher, if low iron, so do phytoplankton. So during climate change, it increases CO2 surrounding, which is it alters all wind transport and dust, and the process of upwelling. This causes decrease in iron into ocean. When it low, so it decreases the ability to carbon sink, cause less phytoplankton. For example, on month December, usually low and limited light, which made phytoplankton decrease. And after January, from February to March, the availability in silicate and iron limited cause diatom low in composition. Especially when there is grazing pressure happen. So there is certain OIF experiment being conducted so far. It focuses on stimulating impacts of iron in high nutrients and low chlorophyll. Which is this 4 zone I mentioned before. So the method they use by adding iron in ocean. The experiment, which named Iron X1, which they ate 445 kg to the surface of water. And another is soil experiment, which add acidified iron sulfate over several days. This region is the best choice for this to be done. So what is the limitation in this? The limitation is mostly cause of no extended time in research, and no long period time, and also no funding cost. The aim of OIF experiment is to remove carbon from atmosphere and increase carbon sequestration. There is in fact successful and failed outcomes. One of the methods they use to monitor that is using artificial SF for iron fertilization patches. It can stand for 2 weeks. It functions to track movement of OIF, which is ocean iron fertilization. Another way is it deploy surface drifting buoys. And also NASA Airborne Oceanography also involved in this. And lastly, ocean color satellite also used for large-scale iron fertilization patches. The experiment that was successful in increasing iron in equatorial Pacific, which is Iron X1. It takes about 2 days, then in Southern Ocean more than 10 days due to the cold temperature. Under microscope, soyri, SNX, and sulfate N and sulfate S show increase in primary producer. It may due to the iron they were lateral, and lateral mix of iron made silicate higher. In Southern Ocean, AOIF experiment the satellite image show there is twofold added in chlorophyll A right after iron added. This made it increase iron patches higher than water surrounding. The unsuccessful experiment, which is effect, SAGE, and Lohales, is they show decrease after 12 days than in ITER. In ITER, the increase in 10 to 20 days, as expected, but it decreased back. This may caused by lateral dilution and grazing pressure. The hope for future potential of ocean iron fertilization is we must emphasize on more monitoring. This helps in identifying possible effects using advanced biogeochemical and ecological model. This helps in increased iron for long term, especially on limited area, which I mentioned earlier is all the methods was conducted on an experiment. And we must also focus on draw down the CO2, which is carbon dioxide, at the same time increase biological pump. The detail on more study have to be conducted for long term, not for a short term only, as this is carbon cycle, so it may continue more and more. We can also aware public on more address on global warming. In conclusion, this is crucial as global warming not only impact one carbon cycle, but overall environmental cells and organisms.